Namaste. Welcome to the second part of the video series. We are talking about IGCSE history with the code 0470. The first topic that we are going to deal with are the peace treaties of 1919 to 23 and were they fair or not. I have already dealt with two essential questions in my last video. So if you haven't watched it, I would recommend that you watch it first because that will help you gain a lot of contextual clarity and understand the concepts before moving to this video. Also, thank you for liking and subscribing and commenting on the video because that actually motivated me to make the second video. So if you find these videos useful, do comment and let me know if there is a particular topic that you want me to cover or certain exam style questions that you want me to clarify or to help you, practice it. Just do let me know in the comments below. Let's move with the first question about the topic. First, what was the impact of the peace treaties on Germany up till 1923? Before we move on, there are certain things that you need to clarify in order to understand and answer this question accurately. We are talking about the peace treaties. We are not asking you to describe the terms of the treaty, but rather we are asking the impact of the terms of these treaties on Germany up till 1923. So the time period is also very important here. Now, how will you remember it? You will remember the acronym LAM. L stands for land. Germany lost 13% of land and 6 million population was displaced. 10% of the industries and 15% of agricultural land was lost. Places with natural resources like the Saar coal fields were lost. Additionally, the area near France, the Rhineland, was demilitarized and French troops were placed here. Now, these are the terms of the treaty. What is the kind of impact that this has on Germany? First, there was anger, and second, there were hardships. Anger that Germans were not part of the peace conference. These treaties made sure that German land was stolen from them. They felt, and essentially, a lot of Germans were now living in different countries due to loss of territory. This created economic hardships for the people. First, they were asked to pay reparation payments, and without the agricultural and industrially rich land, it was very difficult for Germany to regain its former strength. Second, A stands for army. Now, Germans, as you know, were military superpower, and laws of military, the limitations that were based on military, navy, and air force, essentially humiliated and caused a lot of loss of pride for the Germans. Also, people who lost employment, who were part of the army earlier, were now just roaming around freely. They did not have jobs, and they formed something called the Freed Corps. Army was reduced to 100,000 men. There was essentially no air force. Navy was limited. There was no poison gas, no tanks. And Rhineland, which was an essential area, was demilitarized, as we have spoken earlier. Then M stands for money. Germans had to pay 6.6 billion in reparation or compensation to Britain, USA, and France. The impact that it has had on Germany was of economic crisis. First, Germans were affected by the war. They were essentially bankrupt. The Weimar coalition government felt that they could not pay the reparation payments even if they were in annual installments. And the loss of agricultural and industrial land made it even more difficult for Germans to pay these reparation payments. The last one is about blame or the war guilt clause, which essentially laid the entire blame for starting World War I on Germany. Germans felt great anger and resentment against it because they felt there were other parties involved and they were not the only ones. So the acronym here, L for land, A for army, M for money, and B for blame. Remember, you do not have to describe these terms of the treaty, but rather speak about the impact that this has on Germany. So what is the kind of reaction that we are overall talking about? We're talking about horror and outrage from the Germans. They felt betrayed and they felt that this was not external enemies. They also were betrayed by enemies from within, the Jews, the November criminals or the Weimar government who had signed the Treaty of Versailles, the communists, and essentially Germany had lost due to internal weakness. There was anger that Germany was not represented in these peace conferences. The reparation pushed Germany into a deeper state of economic crisis, and many Germans felt that Woodrow Wilson's 14 points would be followed, like the idea of self-determinism. However, that was not the case. Germany also lost its territories and colonies outside. the impact, the new government had to face a lot of opposition from different parts. There were the communists, the nationalists, the army, and Jews, communists, November criminals, or the Weimar Republic were made the internal scapegoats. There was political violence by the left wing or the Spartacists, the right wing or the Karpats. Hitler led the Munich Putsch in 1923. A lot of people were killed in it. A lot of people participated in it. However, it was curbed. Last, we can talk about the Ruhr invasion. So Germany paid its first installment. However, the second installment, which was due in 1922, Germans could not pay that. In retaliation, French and Belgian troops took over the Ruhr area. Ruhr is an industrial area in Germany, and they gathered all the raw material, everything that they could lay their hand on in lieu of the reparation payment. The German government asked the workers to go on a strike, understanding if there were no, production, the German, French and Belgian troops could not essentially take anything. However, that did not work out. 100 workers were killed and 100,000 expelled from the Ruhr area. There was this, all of this led to economic problems. There was starvation, there was, lack of food, milk, meat in Germany. And this led to something called hyperinflation. So in order to meet the expectations, in order to meet the reparation payment expectation, German government started printing more money without thinking of the consequences. The first consequence was that more money in circulation, money started losing its value, and the prices of essential commodities rose exponentially. You would have come across a lot of pictures of children playing with loads of money because money had no value now. And this caused something called hyperinflation, or a state of inflation where the prices of commodities rise exponentially. All of this altogether also plays a major role in the rise of Hitler, because Hitler used this as propaganda, especially the part about November criminals, stab and back theory. All these were used by Hitler to rise to power. The second question that we will be dealing with is, were the peace treaties fair or not? In order to answer this question and to answer that, could the treaties be justified at the time, this can come as a 10th marker for a paper 1 question, and you need to know both sides of the argument, that no, the peace treaties were not justified, and yes, the peace treaties are justified. I know it sounds a little confusing, but you need to write a well-balanced answer giving evidences in support of both sides. If the question doesn't ask you to state a stand, then you can just give evidences for both the sides and leave it there. If it asks you to what extent were the peace treaties justified, then you can give evidences in support and against the statement and then take a stand. I would say that you avoid use of personal pronouns in writing any formal piece of essay or paragraph that you're writing for answer. So were the peace treaties justified? If you're writing no, they were not, you could speak about how the Germans were blamed unfairly. They were not the only ones who had started the war. However, they were asked to take blame for the war entirely. Germany itself was in a near starvation state. The war had caused bankruptcy. There were a lot of people who were suffering. Germany was not made part of the peace conference, and the Treaty of Versailles came as a diktat. Woodrow Wilson's 14 points were not followed, and the war had physical devastating impacts on Germany. If you're writing, yes, this is best what the peacemakers could do given the circumstances in 1923, you could write about how other countries were also equally affected. The taxes and fiscal policies were made more rigorous. Taxation was raised in countries like Britain in order to meet the expectations and the demands created by war. You could also talk about the Brest-Litovsk Treaty, which was signed by Germany earlier, which was way more harsh, and the terms were way more harsh, and the terms that Germany had levied led to loss of 32% land, 34% of the population, and so on. These are the two essential questions. First, what was the impact of the Treaty of Versailles or the peace treaties on Germany? The second part that we are looking at is, were the peace treaties justified or not? And you are going to give evidences both in support and against the statement. If you looked at and had a look at my first video, you would have seen that I dealt with one of the exam style questions, which is part A of paper 1. It's a 4 marker, and I discussed the expectations of that answer. Similarly, if you're doing paper 1, part B, which is a 6 marker, what is it that you're expected to write? So if the question says, why were German people unhappy with the Treaty of Versailles, and this comes as a 6 marker, you're essentially asked to give two developed points. One developed point will be you give a point, you give evidence, you give explanation, and you link it to the main question. So PEEL, and two paragraphs for that. So if you're writing, your first statement should be directly, the German people were unhappy with the Treaty of Versailles because, you can pick up LAMB, you can, because it led to loss of land and territory. This is your point. Then you give evidence and explanation. Germans lost 13% of the land and about 6 million of the population was displaced. 10% of the agricultural land and 15% of the industrial land was taken away. Places rich in natural resources like the Saar coal fields were taken away. Now, you have given a lot of evidences. Now, you need to explain why these people were unhappy. This caused anger and hardships for the people. German people were unhappy that most of these lands they felt were stolen away from them, and the treaty was termed as a diktat where they were not made part of the conference. Second, it led to economic hardships for the people, where in addition to reparation payments, people felt that the loss of these agriculturally and industrially rich lands, they would not be able to regain their former strength. So this is your one complete point, which would ideally land you in level 4 if you give two such well developed points. If you've spoken about land here, you could speak about army in the second point, or you could speak about the reparation payments or the war guilt clause. So with this, I think I'll end this video. In these two videos, I have covered the first portion of your syllabus, core content, that is were the treaties of 1919 to 23 fair. Do let me know if your exams are approaching, what are the kind of topics that you are expected to look at, if you want me to do a particular topic or look at a particular exam style question. Hope this is helpful for you. Do comment and let me know, and do like and subscribe. Bye-bye.